Hello YouTube, this is Hunter Surge of the Brawler Cafe. Today I am doing an update on my Haos Nillious deck profile with Resurgence because I realized I never did that. Before we begin, if you would like to support the channel, go through our TCG Player affiliate link in the description below. And anything you buy after using that link, we will get a percentage of. So if you want to support the channel by doing something you're already going to be doing, that's the way. Also, thank you all for helping us reach 1K subs. That happened just the other day. So finally over that hurdle. Thanks to that, we've unlocked a lot more channel features. So I look forward to using those in the future. So let's get started. Haos Nillious. Two of these Bakugan are different from last time I did deck profile of this, but you should be familiar with both of them if you've been watching the match videos at all. So let's get them open. First up, Aqua's Peruvian. I bought him the wrong way. He yeets. This brings double magic shield, has 400B, so it's hitting 1050. Truthfully, this should actually be Aqua's Cover. I don't have access to Aqua's Cover right now, though I will in the near future. Basically, my original logic with going for Peruvian over Cabo was that 4 magic shields allows Haos Nillious to grab multiple magic shields while allowing each of your Bakugan to have a magic shield of its own. But what I've realized is that if your opponent is playing a deck that doesn't have magic shields for you to steal, just grabbing a plus 400 shield is probably going to be enough for Haos Nillious. So it's not really a big concern, and you'd rather have the 300 extra power in base form as well as the extra damage to allow you to counteract Might Mac. Next up, we of course have the star of the show, Haos Nillious. There we go, finally. Haos Nillious, 305, not a super impressive base form, but what we want is for the Evo. Evo is only 4 cost, so we're never really going to be using this unless we're not able to draw into the Evo. But even then, against like lower tier decks like Shields and Fists, 950 is very comparable to the numbers they're hitting in base form, so it's not even that big of a detriment against them. And lastly, we have Ventus Pegatrix. There we go. Ventus Pegatrix, 500B, hits 1150 on a magic shield. This is what's providing our shield. This has a devastatingly powerful Evo that we will be getting into that's very similar in power level to Haos Nillious itself. And Ventus gives us some fantastic, very powerful cards. Even though it's not providing a high quantity of cards, the cards it does provide are extremely powerful, and it's of course also providing the shield that we will use for Haos Nillious in rare instances. Also, this shield is a plus 400 Haos Pyrus, because I do not have a plus 400 Haos Ventus. Well, I should have one, but I don't know where it is. We're never really going to be using it with Pegatrix. Like if we're using it with Pegatrix, we're losing anyways, because like in base form it's only 300 without a magic shield, and evolved it's only 600 without a magic shield. So it's incredibly weak without being on a magic shield. So like a shield, a plus 400 shield isn't really going to help it that much if that situation comes up. So there is a concern of, well, maybe you could consort for it in some situations, which is why that would be optimal, but it's going to be extremely rare or we're going to even want the shield on Pegatrix, so it's not a big concern. The Haos Pyrus should fill the role just as well for most instances. And once Armored Elite comes out, this shield is most likely going to be our gear cost reduction anyways. For cards, first we have 2 Dark Waters, basic reroll card, plus 200 and you may reroll, good flow enabler, good Shun Abuser, and once gear come out, this will allow us to, of course, reroll after we play down our gear on our gear reducing core, all kinds of stuff. Solid card all around. Deep Dive, our other reroll, draw card, 1 cost, and also reroll. Yeah, not much else to be said. Also, these of course counter core removal, so that's not a concern at all. 3 copies of Tides, very basic, very powerful early game card. 1 cost, plus 200, and if we're in flow, it's plus 400B instead. We don't have any zero cost, so there's no way for us to utilize this turn 1, but we don't really need to. We have other turn 1 plays we can go for, like say Nature's Power. This is the big thing that Ventus provides us. This is 500B differential on turn 1, absurdly strong. Comparable in power to Flooding Waters, but doesn't require us to be a mono deck, obviously. So, just very, very good. Ventus is a pretty rare faction to run into anyway, so the one small drawback of it isn't likely to occur. Light's Courage, 2 cost, plus 400, so it's giving us on curve normally, and then if we're in Domination, which is very easy with HDN's effect, and even easier once Glimmering Glaive comes out, it's plus 800B, so extremely efficient card. 2 copies of Wayne. This is very valuable to have because a lot of decks live or die on an Evo, and removing an Evo for 2 cost tends to be extremely efficient. Like, you're generally, like, against like the strong Evos, you're probably chopping off like a good 1000B for 2 energy. So it's extremely efficient, extremely good card, and gives you good outs to a lot of decks, including the Mirror, of course. And stuff like, this is also really important. The reason this is actually my favorite deck of the current format, of the current top decks, is because it's the only one that can really use Haos, and by having Haos, it has access to Wayne, which allows it to just get rid of Pyrus Hyper Serpentes, and that is a big, big threat, and it's really difficult to deal with it without something like this. Because like stops, even if you have like Pyrus, like stop Pyrus 0 cost or something, like that's not going to do a whole lot against Pyrus Hyper Serpentes. So it's better to like, either kill it quickly or be able to just completely get rid of the Evo if it comes down. 3 copies of Blinding Ink. This allows us to stop any action that costs 3 or more, which is most relevant actions in the game. Opposing Waynes, Wave Slashes, Myosyndeus is very, very good card. Extremely efficient use of our turn 2 will often allow us to guarantee a win on turn 2 or secure a position later in the game. Also allows us to stop Arwella's Trox's big clone army play from going off, so we can actually stop that and live and then beat them because they've used up all their resources. 2 copies of Nature's Power. So this is a 2 cost. Send a hero into energy. We don't really care that we're giving our opponent extra energy. We're not running any turbo anyways. Getting rid of an Evo hero for 2 energy is really, really good. Like, really efficient way of stopping opponent's stands. Titan Dragos and Titan Troxes get completely shut down by this super quickly. Yeah. 3 copies of Consort. This card is not typically all that great, but since we are a Magic Shield deck, it is good here. Grab a Magic Shield plus 650B, potentially also turn on stuff like Knight's Courage, or activate a powerful Evo effect that we wouldn't have online otherwise. So very, very solid for that. Yeah, not much else to say on that. I only have, so as we're going to get into in a moment, just like last time, I only have 2 HDN. So I still need a third of that. When I get a third of that, this is probably what I drop to 2 to make room for that. 3 copies of Wave Slash, best 3 costs in the game. If you're in flow, it's plus 1000B. Very easy to activate. We have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1 cost to help us activate it, as well as a bunch more 2 costs. So really easy to get down, and will very often just win the battle that it comes down on. 3 copies of Shun. This is our major draw engine. Every time we open, once we've got this down, we will be drawing a card. With that, it's going to be very easy to keep our resources up and make it very easy for us to win the battles for the rest of the game. Of course, be careful with when you're putting this down. If your opponent is about to team attack, don't put this down when you could potentially be winning that battle, and avoid taking a teaming attack with no energy to stop it. General advice. 3 copies of Hyper Pegatrix. So, as I said, this Evo is very powerful, comes down to only 3 energy, and with the Magic Shield, it goes all the way up to 2250B, extremely strong. HGN itself, as I said, I only have 2 copies, but when this is on a magic shield, it gets plus 200B and can grab any other core on the field. So this can disrupt your opponent's strategies, but most of the time we're just going to grab either a magic shield to get up to 2300B, or we're going to grab a flaming fist to go up to 15 damage or 18 damage. Very hard to win against this when your opponent wants to go for Might or Mac. So it's a very good deterrent for that at the very least. And then lastly we have our flips. We have 2 copies of Confuse. This is 1 energy to stop anything that's holding a flaming fist or magic shield, with the sole exception of Aurelius Trox and in the near future Aquos Hydrus AV. Anything that isn't holding a magic shield or flaming fist is at a severe natural disadvantage against this deck. So we don't really have to worry that much about stopping them, because we will not be losing enough to decks like that for it to be a concern of us losing. So we just focus on the things that are actually threatening, the things that are actually able to compete with us, which are of course Magic Shield and Flaming Fist Bakugan, and get the super cheap flip that is Confused. And our other flip is 2 copies of Stand Together. Late in the game, it's very easy for us to get Domination online, and it's just a generic stop non-Haos, stops a wide range of things. The only things that are really, the only decks that are really running Haos in the current format are HTN decks. So there's not a whole lot of Haos to worry about bypassing this, and the ones that can, well, that's what Confuse is for. And it's just a nice free flip that we can get off. So basically, we just run the cheapest flips that can cover the widest amount of the meta. Well, not the meta, there is no meta. But the format, you know what I mean. Yeah, with that said, that's the deck profile. I know some people were looking to replicate it from the match videos, which is why I realized, hey, I should probably get this deck profile out. Next week, we are going to do basically our final coverage of the Battle Planet sets. On Tuesday, I'm planning on doing basically a tier list of every Bakugan that came out of Battle Planet, and then on the Friday, I'm planning on doing a second tier list, which is on decks. So look forward to that when that drops. And this is Haos Titan Nillious signing off.